What's going on, guys? It's Paris, or Slim. You can call me either or. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to jump into a quick team deathmatch. Only so that I can give you guys tips. I'm here on my other profile. I have two profiles. I have a That Dancer Paris profile, and I have a Paris Davis profile. Real quick, these are the two loadouts that I'm going to be using. Just these two. One has Silent Assassin, one doesn't. I'm going to go with my offense first. I would suggest that you use a booster and get a whole bunch of them, but I'm not going to use any for this match. And use Orca.
Watch carefully.
But anyways, at the end of this video, I'm going to go to my cinema replays, and I'm going to pause the cinema replay to give you guys tips on what I did in my last match, which is the match that I'm currently playing. And that'll be like my first little tips and tricks video, just to kind of give some guys out there some advanced tips out here. But anyways, let's get back into the game.
Not all of us are coming back alive from this little incursion, but I intend to.
The first thing you want to do is focus on your two main points here. You got your offense score and you got your support score. That's how you win. Straight and simple. And what you want to do is you want to look. If you look at the mini map, I have two guys sticking together. I got this guy here chasing me. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Let's do it. Alright. Anyways, if you look at the mini-map, there's two guys sticking together here. You got Cena and another guy. These two here.
Come out.
If you can't create a group of three, like us three here collected together where we are aware of each other, try to create a group of two. If you see people like him going off to the distance, then try to stick with one person and create a group of two. See, it increases the chances of your teammates being able to take someone out. If they get into a sticky situation, they have your back more than likely, and
put that one down.
You have their back. And the closer you are to someone, the more likely they are to be aware if something is happening to you. Like if you're going down or anything like that. Because a lot of people's awareness in this game is terrible. This game is not fair. Yeah, these two are joining in. Okay. Yep. This is exactly why you want to stick together. Now I see that we are collected as a group of three. This guy loves going off by himself. Let me grab this treasure real quick, and we'll go from there. But always try to create a group of two, and if you can create a group of three, that's what I mostly go for, is a group of three. And try to stick closely to each other and make sure that they're sticking closely to you. If they're not sticking closely to you, like that good boy on my team, what is his name? Yeah, this guy here. Him right here, he likes to go out by himself. I'm noticing that these two here kind of close together or whatever, but the idea is to create as big of a group as you can and stick closely together as possible. So that it it increases the chances of your teammates being aware of things. And also increases the chances of you being aware of things when you're with your teammates. Just like here, I'm going to try to create a group of three. And And just like that, see this guy, I have to revive him because he's not sticking with us.
I was merely resting.
See, the closer that we are to each other, the more likely we are to catch things. And then we have the radar, which also helps as well. And this guy is gone off, so I'm going to stick with him because it looks like I really want to help this guy. Hold on. I'm going to risk it. Got you, homie. Alright, let's go. Alright.
About bloody time.
But yeah, so that's tip number 1. In game, I'm going to give you guys even more tips when I go over the cinema replay. Yep, just continue to stick with somebody, you know, and if you can, try to make groups of 3. If you can get the whole team all clustered together, that is even better. So like I said, the you know, the closer you are to each other, the more likely you two will be aware of the whole team will be aware of what's happening to you guys as a group. You know, so that's tip number 1. It's a good tip right there. Oh dang, that guy's so. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, if we had more people sticking with us, then that would not have happened. We would have been able to get up. This guy here, man, he loves to be by himself. But always pay attention to the mini map to see who's sticking with who. And I'm realizing this guy is going to him, so I'm going to follow along.
Oh, you're a dear. Present for ya.
All right.
Hang on, I'll fix you up. Good one.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Okay, and tip number 2, we're going to take a look at this offense and support score. If you notice that your support score is higher than your offense score, then using what you want to do is, before the game even starts, you want to create 2 loadouts. 2 loadouts. One that is focused primarily on your offense, which is what a lot of people like, and one that is focused on your support. If you notice that your support score is lower than your offense score, then switch to your
Going out. Here.
oh, it didn't get that guy. Oh man. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is switch up. You know, I noticed that my support is lower, so I switched to my support loadout so that I can support the team more. At the same time, always try to create as big of a group with you guys as you can and stick as closely together as you can. Teamwork is exactly how you want to win this game. Whoa.
I've got something.
Ah, this guy here.
I'm going.
AO confirmed.
Alright, these guys here are not really sticking really close together, but I'm gonna make it. Let's see, my support should have gone up a little bit. It did, it went up just a little bit. But it's still not as good as my offense, so I want to try to create as big of a group as I can, which is this group right here. I hope I can catch up to them.
Don't let winning go to your heads. That's where the beer's supposed to go.
I couldn't get much off in this video. Oh, it's frustrating when these people just leave the matches and quit and then leave, and the league join is already garbage. Ugh. so much to deal with this multiplayer, but that's what you want to do. So those are 2 good tips. I want to go over some more in the cinema in just a second, after I do a little bit of explaining of this offense and support. So like what I was saying at the end of the match, if you notice that your support score, and check the scoreboard periodically in the middle of the game, not when someone's shooting at you, but just when you're chilling, things are kind of slowed down, and you have a moment. Just take a look at it, and if you notice that your support score is lower than your offense score, then switch to your support loadout. In this case, my support loadout is this. I prefer you have a staff, some sort of marking booster, and some sort of reviving gear. That gives you an all-around, loadout. You don't have to have stealth. I would prefer you do that. If that's the case, I would just prefer you use this loadout and pick whatever gun you want. To maximize the strength of my loadout, I just use a pistol that doesn't require a loadout point, because every single loadout point matters especially when you're talking about support. So you want to get an offense loadout and you want to get a support loadout, and switch between the two depending on which is greater and which is less in the match. So that's tip number 2. So tip number 1 is grouping you and someone else together, grouping your team together as much as possible, sticking together as much as possible. The second one is the difference between switching the loadouts between support and offense. A lot of times, for me personally, I would keep my support loadout throughout the whole game, and if I feel like I'm not doing good offensively, then I'll just try my best to support the team even more. That way, if I'm having a bad offensive game, I can have a great support game. That'll kind of help the team win. But I prefer you be able to balance them out. There's games where my score it's like 1,000 offense and maybe 1,000 support. You know what I'm saying? If it's 1,000 offense and a 600, support, then that's when that one was greater than the other. The key in tip number 2 is to balance them out while you're playing, to keep them balanced. And you want to increase both of those numbers, of course. So you want your support to go up and you want your offense to go up at the same time. Okay, now I'm finna get to the cinema replay and kind of do some more in-depth tip plan for you guys. Now, do. Alright, let's see. Okay, I'm in the cinema replay, right? And just gonna free up the camera here. Just free it up a little bit. Notice how that guy just went off wherever he wanted to go off, and everybody else is still there. Everybody's still prepared. But you notice how he just took off. Don't follow him. It's always going to be that one person that's just going to, to just take off to their own little, wherever they choose to go. Wait till your team kind of splits up and follow somebody who is following somebody. And let me kind of give you a scenario here. Alright, so you see I'm just kind of gathering myself, and I'm noticing that Cena and Good to Be Bad are sticking together. Now, I was recording in this video and trying to give out, some tips or whatever, but what you want to do is, instead of sticking with that guy who is still there at the respawn, I got a little distracted here. Let me kind of pause this and Fast forward a little bit. Alright. Now, these two here, they were sticking together at the beginning of the game. They're the ones that at the beginning of the game you want to follow. Either or, it doesn't matter. Just whoever you know is following someone else, follow them. That's how you work together. That's how you build a team. That's how you build a team of not just 2 people, but a team of 3. And if you can get a team of 4 and have all 4 of you guys sticking together, the awareness of the team would go up, because if one person gets shot, because you're so close together in proximity with each other, the other teammates would recognize it. They would hear the gunshots. They would hear the even when the shots pierce the person's skin or whatever, they can hear that. The sound effects, your players, they make sound effects. Like if a grenade stuns you or whatever, you make that big noise or whatever. Your teammates can hear that. If your teammates are stuck together with each other, everyone will hear it. Everyone will be aware of what's going on. That's what you want. You want your teammates to be aware of what's happening to you if you're sticking with them, and you want them to be aware of what's happening. You want to be aware of what's happening to them. So, notice how I'm just kind of watching where he's going, making sure that guy is staying somewhere steady. And if I can't get a group of 3, like I noticed these 2 just kind of split off, I'm going to stick with him because I see he's in combat. And look around, and that's what you want to do. If I'm gonna pause it here. If you notice that like those 2 guys just did, let me rewind that for a hot minute. Is this me, or is this? No, this is me. Okay. I noticed that let's see. Oh, I need to rewind this a little bit more. Hold on. Let me rewind this just a little bit more, just so I can show you guys. Okay. Oh, dang, I gotta rewind. It's bad. Okay, we're gonna go to me. Alright, pause. Well, actually, I'm not gonna pause right here. Alright, and pause. Alright, so if you look at the mini-map, you see my team is red on the mini-map up there in the top left corner. There's one guy on top of the train that I just passed. Now, they were clustered when I spawned. On them. They were sticking together pretty good. That's too close for their current situation, but they didn't have to split like they did. What you want to do in a situation like this is try to stay in between the 2. I'm standing. If you look at me on the mini-map, I am standing between equal distance between good to be bad. Okay, and this guy, I don't quite know his name, whatever this guy's name is on the mini-map, who's standing on top of the train behind me. But you want to try to keep equal distance between the 2, and that's what I did here. You're going to see I just kind of peeked around to see if anybody would shoot at the guy that's on the train, and I kind of peeped at this guy to see what might be going on with him as well. And I see this guy, because I'm so close to him in proximity, I can hear those M14 shots. So I know he's getting shot somewhere, somehow. And I stick with him. Make sure I aim at him to make sure that, it's him that's shooting, first of all, because, you got to get your awareness and everything right. And what you want to do is, when I heard him shoot, I instantly turned to him so that we can have a group of 2. You always want to create the biggest group that you can possible. A lot of times in this game, people just don't like to stick together when you're playing solo. So stick with them. If they don't want to stick with you, you stick with them. That increases the chances of, that increases your chances of getting a higher support score as well. Now, moving on. There's a lot to explain, but as you can see, I'm kind of keeping my eye on this guy, and I notice he's in combat. So I start to shoot at this guy, right? And I just kind of hold off. On chasing that guy, because he's already shot up by me, and my teammate is also aware of him as well. So he's already tag teamed. And I just kind of peek around to see where the rest of my teammates are, see where that guy went. I'm trying to stay equal distance between him and the other guy so that I can possibly cover them both, if that makes sense. If I can cover them both, I will try to. That's called playing support. I'm also being being aware of my own surroundings. But of course, when you're watching for someone else, you expect them to watch out for you as well. That's where things can get a little frustrating. But I'm going to continue here. So I'm standing equal distance between the two, and this guy gets that easy kill on him. That guy got that easy kill on that guy. And you see that I turned my camera angle over to good to be bad. If you look in the top right hand corner, you see him standing on top of that pillar or whatever. I heard that he was in combat. I heard his gun go off and everything. So I started to look over there when I saw my teammate get that kill that I helped him with. And what I was going to do is I was going to help him get that kill. I was going to help my other teammate get that kill because I was equal distance between them both. I could have got killed right there from a sniper or something like that. But the teammates that I look out for, if I go down, there's a better chance of them seeing me because I stay close to them. And there's a higher possibility of me getting back up. So that's how you work that whole situation out. Let's see. I brought myself closer to this guy. This guy here. I brought myself closer to him because I want to create as big of a group as possible. And I saw that good to be bad over there. This guy here, I saw that he kind of handled that guy on his own, and there's no sense in constantly staying in between the both of them if one of them can handle his own weight. So I followed the guy that I noticed needed a little help in the last little gunfight that he got in. So I stayed with him. Now what I'm doing is I'm noticing that this guy is shooting at my teammate here. Now my teammate is smart. He's behind cover. He can kind of hold his own. But because I was with my other teammate, if I am aware that this guy is getting shot at, then he is aware as well. And you'll see him play here. You'll see that he kind of tries to aim it out to see who's shooting at him, and that's kind of how things are supposed to play out when you're playing together. Now he turned around and he came back my way. After covering a flank. And I thought he was going to come my way, so instead I went his way. I followed him. That increases the chances of us being, what I'm saying. And I know that he's one guy that needed a little bit of, support in his last gunfight. So it's about your awareness. It's about being aware of the strength of your teammates. It gets pretty deep in this little tutorial here. But let's keep going. So me and this guy, we both noticed that one guy went down back here, and I'm following him. Probably has no clue. Oh, and when that guy went down, the teammate on the other team went to help him up. Good thing I followed Cena because Cena cannot handle two people. You'll see how all of this plays out with him getting popped, with people just popping up on him and they're not realizing that I had his back and I was there. Here we go. Okay, so he just pushed up on him, right? Alright, so now you see two people here. Now he's in a 2v1 situation. Now with me being there, now it's a 2v2 situation, and he took that one guy down by himself. And you're going to see how a third person on their team kind of pops up. Alright, so you see that he got in cover there. And I noticed that a third person showed up, and that third person was rushing me as well. So I threw a grenade at him, and that third person got taken out. That other person decided he was going to bail and retreat, and he still ended up getting killed. by my teammate. So that's the benefit of sticking together. That right there is the benefit of sticking together. Alright, now I see that he pushes up, so I'm going to push up, but I'm going to be cautious, because if he goes down and he gets killed, I'm going to need to back off because nobody's watching my back. Like I said, if I had two or three of my other teammates watching me, I wouldn't need to be so cautious. But he knew that I was watching him, so he got out there and he didn't, he just went for it because he knew he had my help. But yeah, let's keep going. Plus also, let's see. He also knew that the other teammate was coming on the other team's flank. If that makes any sense. So now we're all clustered in a group of 3, which is great. That's why I followed him. Now we are down by like 11 points, but you'll see how this plays out. If you need to, you can quickly rush to a treasure and come back to your teammates. But do not, the farther you are from your teammates, the more likely something is to happen to him without you being there or being able to be there. So I quickly grabbed this treasure. And I see that he put down a mine, so there's no need to check a flank because that mine has a flank for me. Alright, now I follow this one guy, and I notice that the other 2 respawn right behind me. So I'm going to stick with this guy. And because I noticed that he was in combat as well as, as anybody else. Nobody else is in combat except for him. So it's all about your awareness. It's all about knowing which one of your teammates is in combat, which one of them is not. Another tip about the combat, what helps is that whenever your teammates are in combat, on the mini map, they start to blow up. Their little arrows on the mini map start to blow up. You might not see it here on the cinema replay, but in game, you'll start to see that when one of your teammates is in combat, the arrow, their player arrow on the mini map, starts to blow up. And if you notice that someone who's if you're in a situation like I was at the beginning of the match where I had to stand in between 2 players, whichever player is in combat, that's the player you need to go for to help him out. Yeah, so that's pretty much how that works. We kind of did a good job here. And you see me kind of peeping out. And I just stick with him for a hot second. I'm going to let this play out. And I'm going to follow these guys here so that I can create a group of 3. Because that's what I want to do here. I want to try to cluster us up and make us as tougher as a team as I can. And that's what you want to do. I see this guy, Cena. I hope I didn't call him Cinema throughout this recording. If I did, it's whatever. But you know who I'm talking about. So I want to follow him and kind of keep his back. And one more thing is I see that he's headed towards my teammates. So I know there's trouble over there. So the idea is to make the group as big as possible. Even if it's just a group of 2 of y'all. If you see that your teammate is headed towards somebody, follow him. Just like I told in the beginning of the match. Like, look, follow somebody who's following somebody. That's called teamwork. A lot of people in this game, they don't do that. Good to be bad. I noticed a lot of times he didn't do that. I'm not finna sit here and hover over his player and show you that he did it. You can just tell. Yeah, you can tell. You can tell especially by his support score. He had a support score of 75, while me and Cena were both at a support score of 190 each. And although Good to Be Bad could handle his own weight, it doesn't do any good if nobody's watching his back. He's just gonna get killed or whatever. But the game's still fresh, so we're moving on. So yeah. So the reason why I left Cena behind was because I noticed that my teammate here was down. When the teammate is down, and they, even if they have a teammate there helping them, they're still vulnerable to both getting attacked and getting killed. So Cena, I kind of left behind. Cena really should have, followed them, because when one is down and being revived, they both are at very high risk of getting killed both, because one is down and the other one is focused on helping them. My job is to support them and get some kills. And Cena, I don't know why he didn't think about heading this way to see what was going on. He just headed the opposite direction. But you want to create as big of a group as possible and help out as much as possible. So I'm going to let this one be. Alright, now, because that one guy was down, I was smart to follow that little group of guys over there in that corner, as opposed to going the opposite direction and following Cena. He's on the opposite side of the map. There's no combat going on over there. I don't know what he was over there doing, but the combat's over here. And I knew the combat was going to be over here because one of the enemy players downed one of my teammates. Awareness. Once again, that's just awareness. So, if you got a teammate down, you got a teammate that's helping that down teammate, go help out as well. It's called teamwork. Anyways, let's keep pushing. Alright, so because we're so stuck together in a cluster, in a large group, it's like a group of 4 of us in this area over here. I noticed that, Good to Be Bad went down, so I went to help him out. Alright, let's see. Alright. Yeah, he needs to stick with us. Good to Be Bad needs to stick with us to, decrease the possibilities of him going down, like I just mentioned a few seconds ago. Alright, so there's an enemy player on top of me, but I noticed that my teammate's over here in combat. So I'm going to go with my teammate here. See him taking somebody out. I'm going to help him out, and I noticed that this guy was still up top. And I went chasing him, but I didn't know he had took off. So I went back to follow Good to Be Bad. Yeah, I followed Good to Be Bad because, let me see here. Yeah, I followed Good to Be Bad because I knew that he was headed towards my other teammates. Sometimes a teammate is going to get down by himself. There's no need in leaving your other 3 teammates to go help that one teammate. You are prone to getting killed, because you don't know how many people tag team that guy. You don't know how many of those enemy players shot that guy down. You just don't know. The key is to stick together. The reason why he got killed was because he was not close to us. So sometimes you just have to let that one be, let a person take their death. There are times when you just cannot help everyone. Now, if I had a Centimani Stone, I would have quickly paused and swooshed him back up, but I didn't. I did have a pack. Let's see. Go back to the camera I was at. And what I did was I noticed that my teammate here, Mushy, was headed in this direction. I noticed that Good to Be Bad had turned around. So what I did was I turned around and I took the risk, because I knew my teammates were going to have my back. I took the risk and I went to go revive this guy. Now I did watch for the guy who took him out, and I just took the risk of helping this guy out because I knew that they were going to be there watching. You see how they're there watching now? Watching us. And that's what you want. That's what was happening in that last situation on top of the train over there. So the key is to stick together. These guys, they did pretty good. Not going to lie, did pretty good at this time in the game. Because, the game is really on the line. Like 2-21, come on now. Alright. And let's see. Alright. Now, see, we're in a group of 3. And you see how the guy that Wesley, who just took off in the opposite direction, and Cena, who's still on the other side of the map. See how they're all just, they just went their own way, and there's no one around them to help them out. That's how Wesley got in trouble in the first place. So he's not sticking together, and neither is Cena at the moment. The more you stick together in this game, the more likely you two are to pick each other up, help each other out, the more likely you are to win. And I find that important to stick together, because there are times when you want your offense to be, to go up, where you focusing more on your offense, and there are times where you're focusing more on your support. And you want to kind of keep those two balanced. And so it's real easy to go out here and get kills. Okay? With a team like this that's really trash, you're going to see as this gameplay goes on, but work together, guys. Okay, that's the whole gist of these tips that I'm giving here. I'm not giving any gunfight tips or anything like that. I'll save that for another video. Let's keep moving. Alright. And let's see. Alright, things got a little quiet here, so I think I'm going to leave it here, y'all. The idea is to stick together, and I think I'm going to leave it right here. Leave the recording right here, and just kind of, because I've given all the tips that I really can. I really want to show you guys the rest of the match, but I feel like this recording's gone on long enough now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, take those tips that I showed you about the mini map and the players, these tips. Take them and use them in the game, and I guarantee you the teamwork will pay off. I've been in games where I've had garbage teammates, but I used them. I made the team as best as it can be by sticking with them. If they notice that you're sticking with them, then some of them, it'll even get so deep to the point where some of them will start taunting and all this other stuff because you're being such a big help to them. If you don't want to use, the loadouts that I use, can't get to them right now, but if you want to use them, you can. If you want to use the loadouts that I used, you can. You'll see that. You can go back in the video and take a look at those loadouts. I showed them at the beginning of the match, but I'm gonna leave it here, guys. And thank you guys for watching. I hope y'all learned a lot, and I'll leave it at that.